What's up? My name is B Walk and welcome back to Copy Your Coin, where I show you how to copy your coin in the fastest growing market in world history. Today we're going to talk about some of the articles floating around. As we can see in my last video, I talked about the levels that we're looking at, the charts, the technical analysis, and kind of seeing what fundamentally is going to happen. Now, since that time I posted that video a few days ago, the market has fallen back some, and that's okay because I think we're going to see in this article, I think this is going to set up for a big comeback. But take advantage of those prices when you can get them. A lot of people wish they could buy stuff on sale. Here's your opportunity. Okay. So before I get into it, that's what I'm going to do. But I want you to do three things. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that alert button so that you know when fresh content is out from Copy Your Coin. Okay. Let's jump right in. So in this first article, and again, the articles I'm going to talk about, I'll put the URLs in the description. So please don't worry about trying to read that. First article I'm going to talk about: the experts continue to predict strong growth despite market downfall after Trump's Bitcoin comments. Okay, so as I'm sure you realize that Mr. Trump decided to open his mouth on cryptocurrency, and he opens his mouth on a lot of topics. And then to back that up, you have Steve Mnuchin, who also started to chime in on his ideas. And here we go again with individuals trying to put their expectations on the market. However, it's good to see, and we'll go wide here. So crypto market got its biggest shock in a long time when U.S. president jumped into the crypto war, criticizing Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. He accused Bitcoin of helping antisocial activities like drug trafficking. The big guns of crypto fraternity took no time and reacted to Trump's comments, some inviting him to understand crypto, while others, like John McAfee, took the not so subtle routes. John McAfee's a funny guy. I think he's definitely a hype man. I don't know how tuned in he is with the market, but he's certainly a tastemaker in the cryptocurrency market. But I think that weighs very little in the grand scheme of things. However, he says he claimed about Bitcoin touching $1 million by 2020. I think that's crazy. Let's skip down right here though to this point. In an interview on Saturday, another major crypto influencer and head of research at Fundstart Global Advisors, Tom Lee, predicted that Trump's remarks could actually trigger a bull run. He stated that the president's remarks are, in fact, a big positive for the markets because the intervention, first by the Fed and then by the Congress and the president, indicates that Bitcoin and crypto are something substantial and noteworthy. He further added, Bitcoin is now trading at a level that is only seen 3% of its historical days. If you go back to every milestone that was achieved, Bitcoin subsequently rallied somewhere between 200 to 400% within the next 4 months. So I think that's playing out this time. That means that Bitcoin could be 20,000 to 40,000 sometimes in the fourth quarter. I tend to think that falls a little bit more in line with my expectations. I'm imagining that cryptocurrency is going to run into the end. Remember, I said in a few of my videos in the past that 2019 was really a bottoming year. There's a point where we're going to put a bottom in, solid bottom, and start to move higher. And as you started to see in the last few days, we did. Another positive prediction came from Brian Armstrong, co-founder and chief of Coinbase, the world's leading crypto exchange. In a tweet, he stated that Trump's comments are in fact a big achievement for the industry and said that he wished that the U.S. president would talk about the growing crypto. He also quoted Gandhi's famous quote, "First they ignore you, and then they laugh at you, and then they fight you, then you win." Funny. Anyway, confusion for the investors. So what should they do? Even though all the big guns predict a big bull coming, the market seems to have responded negatively to Trump's remarks with a decline in 3 days. Does this mean that winter is approaching? Not yet. So will bulls come roaring? Doesn't seem so. So what should an investor do? The best thing that an investor can do at the moment is to hold their investments. Be patient. The market has seen similar fluctuations in the last month's ending days and again picked up smoothly. In the recent past, a vast majority of industry experts have predicted that Bitcoin will at least break its all-time high of 20,000 by the end of this year, which still seems to be a possibility, while some have predicted 40,000 and 100,000 as well. Though it cannot be denied completely that the current decline is due to Trump's remarks, there is a big possibility that this is just a regular adjustment before a higher level of stabilization. Also, the future of crypto is said to be on a large-scale adoption, which is happening outside of America. That's key. For countries like Russia, Venezuela, Georgia, and a few others in Europe are ready to permit regularized crypto trade, which is a big boost. If these countries accept it, the U.S. market will lose its relevance for crypto companies. And that's true, and that's kind of the theme of what I'm going to talk about today. So if we go in here and we can see, so drilling down a little bit more, as you can see right here, it says Bitcoin is becoming store of value among U.S. investors, former Uber exec. Investors in the United States are beginning to see Bitcoin as a store of value. The Interchange co-founder and director of business development credited Facebook for upping the status of cryptocurrencies. He said in an interview to Block TV that the social media giant foray in the cryptocurrency industry with the introduction of its payment service, Project Calibra, brought Bitcoin to further limelight, adding, if someone were to tell me 7 years ago that the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Treasury Secretary, the president were all going to talk about Bitcoin publicly within 7 days, I would have been extremely excited. Again, echoing what we heard earlier. But as we look at before, Powell validated Bitcoin as a store of value. He held stress that the investment banks and asset managers like himself were already looking into Bitcoin for its potential to act as a risk-off asset in turbulent times. The freshly escalated trade tension between the U.S. and China upped investors' interest in the safe haven cryptocurrency. So again, even so, you got the guys right here talking again about they feel like that the fact that Bitcoin is being in the news. We're talking with the president and with the United States Secretary of Treasury, and just the overall sentiment, regardless if it's negative or positive, that's going to be a good thing. I think in the long term it will be. And they talk about here, while the White House opened dislike towards Bitcoin sent the market down by more than 16% to 92.30. Today, as of 200 Universal Time today, you can see, nevertheless, many analysts saw a silver lining in the long term. Tom Robinson, the chief strategist at blockchain forensics company Elliptic, believes Mnuchin's statements are bullish for Bitcoin. He explained that the U.S. already has a clear anti-money laundering law around cryptocurrencies. And first, so here's a quote real secondly. Firstly, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, Libra is based on a transparent transaction ledger. Secondly, Libra transactions will be processed by validators, which are businesses such as MasterCard and Uber. Libra transactions will only be processed if a majority of the validators agree to do so. Noted economist Rubini, who is also a staunch Bitcoin critic, meanwhile suggested that the cryptocurrency's wild price swing proves it's a joke in the long term. They are not a unit of account, they are not a means of payments, and no stable store of value. Minus 14% in a day. Yeah. So at any rate, I think he got, as you know, it takes a bull and a bear to make a market, so you need that. And then finally, I would like to take a look at this article right here. States, the latest Grayscale report shows institutional Bitcoin investment on the rise. Upshot. Institutions are here. Grayscale BTC Premium speaks of the same. Institutional interest soars in 2019. As of Q2 report, the assets under management nearly tripled from 926 million to 2.7 billion, and that's just as of the second quarter. And obviously this is in arrears. We're in the third quarter, getting ready to round into the fourth here in a moment. But it kind of shows you that people are getting in. Smart money is going to be in, and that's not what's going to push the market higher. What's going to push the market higher is when the retail investor realizes that they missed the boat, and they're going to be jumping in, and then you're going to get a bunch of FOMO and everybody trying to get in. So that'll push the market. By that time, when it's being pushed higher, so that's when you expected the market to start to ramp up and move further and farther. So the Grayscale BTC Premium speaks of the same. According to the report, the average weekly investments in all products amounted to about 4.9 million. However, 4.1 million of those went into perhaps the most popular product of the company, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Again, 80% of investments came from institutions. So institutional interest source in 2019. And it says right here that we expect that. I think that trend will continue. Yes, I do actually. And I think even more so now that the market is down. Right now we're currently at about 9,700 right here. So I think it's still an opportunity to buy, because remember, you're not going to be worried about if Bitcoin goes to 40 or 50,000. You're not going to be worried about, I bought it at 10,000, I bought it at 9,000, I bought it at 12. You're going to be worried about, did you get it, right? And that's the same thing for a lot of the altcoins. In the next video that I will do, I'm going to speak specifically about altcoins and kind of which ones I'm focusing on and how to approach this market, because right now you're having a little bit of a chain reaction. Bitcoin falls, altcoins fall with it. That doesn't mean that I don't believe in altcoins. You guys out there know that one of my biggest holdings is Cardano, and we're going to talk specifically about that, but more generally is about altcoins in the future as well, and how I'm going to approach this fall and the end of this summer, moving into my investments and trading. I expect again that my money is going to be much more valuable now going into the year, end of the year in 2020 than it will be at this moment. So I'm sure you will be too if you stick with it. All right. But anyway, that's all I wanted to do. Thank you for joining me on Copy Your Coin, and I will see you next time. Take care.